In the world of technology-infused art, how does poetry factor in? Today's guest, Andrea Lee, is a poet operating in community circles of Los Angeles. Let's find out what kind of impact poetry is making today. Andrea, welcome to the Spotlight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, look, I remember we hung out in LA. We'd met at a mutual friend's book signing, and then you invited me, and then we just became friends. And I just loved that event. And you're a talented poet. You're an amazing cook. You're a really good person, and you're doing lots of other exciting things too. Let's start right at the beginning. Let's talk about poetry. What kind of poetry do you write?
So I do free write. I write a lot about my community, love. Love is one of my favorite words, and just being real, true life poetry. Sometimes I wake up and I'm thinking of something while I'm sleeping, so I just write it down. So something that's meaningful to me or my community is very important.
Yeah, and look, having been at that one event, at least, I mean, everybody was so talented, and I was like, what a beautiful community here in Inglewood. Which it's hard to find community in LA, but it's interesting because I feel like that poetry lives in your blood, even now, right? But
Yeah.
it's interesting, right? Because I'd never really been part of that, even as an audience member. Like, how did you get started in like poetry?
So my dad was a poet. And he wrote
Okay.
poetry. My sisters write poetry. And when Facebook was like first coming out, we would write our poems and post them. So it was in a poetry group.
Mm.
But sometimes people take your words. So we're trying to be more smart about it. So my dad taught us about the poor man's copyright. So we would write the poetry and mail it to ourselves and just recite it to each other in our family
Mm.
circles. And then I found a community in Los Angeles. Like, it's so many talented people, but if you don't go out and find them and talk to them, how would you know? So just
Mm.
finding that connection and people that have something similar to you and bringing it full circle. So how can I
Mm.
get a group of poets together? Food brings people together, right? Good food. So cooking, using another one of my talents, I'm very personable. I'm comfortable around anybody. So just building that community up. So that was great for me.
So what was that like growing up with a poet for a father, right? Because you've so much passion. Is that where it came from?
Yes, he was also a great cook. So really
Okay.
great, always, cleaned up, took us shopping and taught us about foods and LA, we all grew up in LA, so he was really proud of the city that he grew up in. And so that's where my love from LA came from as well.
So did you ever like study it in school or anything like that?
I did go to poetry writing school. That's where
Okay.
I met a lot of the poets. But then getting outside of that, I'm also now, I've been the president of LA Poet Society for a few years now.
Okay. So so anytime somebody wants to recite a poem in LA, they need your approval first,
No,
or something bad's
no,
gonna happen. Okay. All right. No, no.
no,
You're not a mafia boss. Okay.
no. So I have a Creative Love Network is I'm a part of that organization. I'm
Right.
the one of the founder and his wife allowed me to come in and be a part of that. Such a great community collected of poets, playwrights, singers,
Hmm.
all kind of artists, writers, authors, chefs. So we do a lot of things in our community and outside of our community. We also have, people come in and be mentors to kids. We also go teach poetry in schools as well. And I've
Well,
won
of
awards. So I've
course,
won
of
awards for
course.
my poetry and my books.
Look, we only have a minute left, but like, what does poetry mean to you?
Poetry means it's therapeutic to me. It
Mm.
means healing, sharing your story because you don't know how much it's going to impact the next person. So
Mm.
it's very, very close to my heart. It's vital for our communities. We need this. We need a release, an outlet, and I think it's very powerful and important. And if you want to continue to be in a community with us in Los Angeles, we have Creative Love Network on all social media platforms, Creative Love Network at gmail.com. You can reach us there, or www.authorandrealee.com to find all of my writing materials.
Look, and promote your stuff. anytime, anytime you want. We're gonna keep going. We've got Andrea Lee for 3 more segments on the spotlight. Welcome back to the spotlight. I'm here with Andrea Lee. All right, Andrea. Look, I really did love that event in LA. That's why I wanted to hype you up. I actually also had banana pudding for the first time. If you can believe
Yeah.
it, I was like, where the hell has that been my whole life? I was like, all right, it was like crack or something. I don't know. I just loved it.
Yeah.
But let's talk more about these events, because first of all, there was a lot of people there, which I've been to a lot of events in LA. It's not so easy to get people out. It was absolutely packed, and it was such a good vibe. Like everybody was so nice, and I was very accepted. The food was good, the poetry was good. It's like, it was really powerful. Like, how have you built such a large community around poetry?
Support. Support is everything. Showing up for people is very important. They need that. I always check on people. I send out texts. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Just want to check on you or something
Mhm.
inspirational. I also do affirmations. I also have a class called The Power to Change the Way You Love Yourself. 10 life changing steps to self love, and which is a spin off of self love talk. So, just healing community through spoken word, through workshops, and just showing up. I think that's important.
Right. And look, I don't know what poetry means to your community, right? I mean, we were in Inglewood. I'm not exactly sure where you do all your events, but it seemed to me like that wasn't just like a place to be, right? Like people were bearing their souls, right? It was like
Yeah.
they needed to be there. It was so important. Like, how important is poetry to your community? Like, what does it mean to people?
I think it means like again healing. Like some people don't talk to therapists.
Mm,
So the healing comes through their writing, their experiences, what they went through. If it's love, if it's hurt, if it's pain, if it's
mm,
sorrow, if it's grief, if it's loss, you put it all on the page. And
mm.
so your pen is your best friend, right? It's your doctor sometimes. It's just a healing space. So you creativity in the tips of your fingertips. So it's very powerful.
It's funny because even when you're answering these questions, they sound like little poems. Like, I don't know if you're just like naturally you got the rhythms and the cadences down. Okay, so let's talk about community, right? Like what is the value of community, especially this community that you've all built like around poetry?
So community is very important because when you're going through something, you have people checking in on you. In
Mm,
this world today, we have the highest rates of suicide, and it's
mm,
because we don't know. You could be happy and laughing, and then one day you're not here anymore. And
mm,
people say, "Well, how didn't you know?" Because you don't have that connection or that bond with people. So how could we get that breakthrough? Because everyone has feelings. We can't
mm,
just be like, "Oh, women need more support." And men don't need anything. And that's how
mm,
it's been for a long time. But we also need to check on men as well.
mm,
They take on the bulk sometimes of the responsibility with their families. And we need to be encouraging. You did a great
mm,
job. I love that. You look nice. You smell good. And not just saying that to flirt or get someone's number just because you care. You don't know
mm.
how a smile or a hello can change someone's life. And that's very important.
Yeah, look, and I'd only been to the one event. It was a few hours. I loved it. I mean it very sincerely, but I got this sense that like the work changes people or something. It just seemed like just based on the way like people shared, I don't know, like some of their experiences. Have you seen that? Like people enter this poetry world and I don't know, like things change for them.
Yeah, so we have my workshop that I hold every Thursday and Friday. We always do reflections, like
Mhm,
let's reflect on what we just discussed. Let's reflect on the workshop. And a lot of people say, I didn't know that I wasn't loving myself properly,
mhm,
or I'm changing the way I love myself. Because how could you heal or take care of somebody else if you don't love and heal yourself, right? Just
mhm,
looking in the mirror and saying great things to yourself. We always talk down to ourselves. We
mhm,
acknowledge the wrong that we do, but not celebrate the right. And it's great to be celebrated. So we should do that for ourselves and not look for it in someone else.
Well, look, and this is the thing, it's like we know each other a little bit in real life, and you really are like a very positive person and a,
Yes.
a real community leader, and it's really nice to like I don't know, just to know you and to see your work. And so I definitely wanted to spotlight you, pardon the pun, because you're one of the people that I root for. Um, we've got Andrea Lee for two more segments on the spotlight. Welcome back to the spotlight. I'm here with Andrea Lee. Andrea, it's interesting. We haven't talked about any of this stuff in terms of tech, but I am very curious to get your take, because we really are in a world that's being I don't know. It feels like we're being taken over, to be honest, by technology. But the poetry world. I mean, it's just existed for centuries. So interesting. But I am curious. Like, do you feel like the tech explosion has impacted the poetry ecosystem? Are you like immune? Like, what is that relationship between technology and the poetry world?
I think it's great for the poets exposure, making your videos a little bit better, having you be seen more.
Hmm,
We're evolving, right? And so with
hmm.
life, you evolve. It's always going to be forever changing. So just embracing that and making sure you use it for good. I think
Right,
that's
right, right.
important. Yes.
Okay, so you're leaning in because there's definitely I have a lot of I've been an artist for 3 decades. I have a lot of friends who are artists, and there's definitely people who are like anti-technology, especially
Yes.
AI, anti-AI. But I still not like how does this is a poetry world like that too?
Yeah, a lot of people are upset they're going to take my job. They're going to do this. If
Right, right.
you're good or great at what you do, nobody can take that from you.
Hmm.
It can enhance what you're doing. So just think of it as a positive. So we get stuck so much in a negative and everybody's jumping on a negative bandwagon. How could we help each other make this work for us in our community? And I think that's important. So just changing the conversation to something positive because it's not going to go away.
Right. So for AI specifically, I mean, I'm sure there's people doing it, but I haven't paid attention to any of that. Is AI and poetry working together a thing?
I think some people are using it. I don't use it for my words, but I
Right.
do use like make videos, quickly or better. So say add this poem to this flyer, which it
Mm,
would take me like probably 5 or 6 hours to really get it right because I'm a perfectionist. You put
right.
it in AI and in like 3 or 4 seconds, you have a
Right.
flyer. It saves you time and money.
Interesting. So you really view, I mean, I think you're viewing it the right way. You're viewing AI essentially as a business tool, not to necessarily replace the art, but to help
Mhm.
you market the art, promote
Yes,
the art, maybe sell the art.
yes. I think it's important to because some people will always ask me, well, Andrea, can you make me a flyer? Can you do this? Can you do that? But now it's so
Mm,
much easier. And I have never been a gatekeeper. So I'm like, I
mm,
use this, I use this, I use this, but I don't want mine to look like anyone else's. So I use a lot of different things and put my personal touch for so it can look different. So just playing around with things, you making it fit best for you and being comfortable with it. Because if we stay angry, we're just gonna lose, and then we're not going to have the love for the poetry or the community anymore because we're stuck in this past. So everything is moving along, just like when we had textbooks and now we have Kindle, right?
mm.
And people start embracing those things.
I have a good friend who's also from Los Angeles, Cheryl Bedford, who works extensively with marginalized communities, specifically women of color. And we were talking about AI, and she had a actually really interesting take where she actually thinks it's one of the best things, like technology and AI, for marginalized communities because it gives people access to resources that they didn't have before. Does
Yes.
something like that land for you?
Yes. It helps you find things faster. Where's the next poetry event?
Right.
How can I make my approach differently so I can get into this space, right?
Mm,
And it's helping you enhance your vocabulary if you need that,
yeah.
making sure you're not plagiarizing things and using things. I think that's the important part that people are saying. Like, I don't want people to sound like me. I don't want to put my stuff here so somebody can take it and use it like they created it. So that's the issues we're coming in. So just being a real, authentic person and not taking other people's material. So that's the important part we do need to discuss when if you decide to use it in that way.
Yeah, look, we only have 30 seconds until the break, but why do you think AI gets such a bad rap? Because when I talk to people, everyone's using AI.
I think it gets a bad rap because people are putting out that it's taking jobs away.
Mm,
It's taking opportunities away. Instead of really researching for themselves, they believe what social media says.
right,
And I like to research things. Well, how is this working for other people in real life that I know,
right.
not on social media?
Look, and this is what I found from like almost every professional and artist that I know is like people are looking for an advantage. Um, okay, we've got Andrea Lee for one more segment on the spotlight. Welcome back to the spotlight. I'm here with Andrea Lee. All right, Andrea, we've talked about a lot of stuff. Really, really cool, really good episode. Very different from what I usually do, but I think that's why it's going to stand out. You know, I really like to, I don't know, just like profile people who are doing really interesting things in the entertainment industry who deserve more attention. You're definitely one of them. Let's talk about
Thank
the
you.
future of poetry. Like, what do you think the future is?
Taking poetry into writing books and
Mm,
workshops. And that's what I've been creating. And it's
right,
been going really well. Like I turned my poems into stories, short stories, and it's really magical. And then taking that into a play or a musical,
mm,
so people are doing a lot of things with enhancing poetry, making movies out of what they've written and things, making novels, and so it's been really, really a great experience watching the book baby grow into a toddler and then a young child and a teenager and maturing adult. So that's
right.
why I see poetry growing.
See, again, like that was that was such a like poetic image the way you answered that question. I was like, oh, I see. Look, you do so much. All of it is positive. That's like everybody follow you everywhere. What's next for you personally? And give us your social media handles. Give us your events. Like, what are you working on?
So right now, myself and Creative Love Network, we're working on several things, getting our workshops out there in person. We're working on some skits that's going to be really fun, some plays, music. We have some powerful people in our poor Larry Love and his beautiful wife Diane. We have Queen Kwani, Derek, so many talented people in our organization, and they were talking about taking my book, and this is my book here. I got more stories to tell. Some lies, some truth, some make believe. What's your story? And we're going to take some of the parts of that and turn it into a play. It's some stories in there that I haven't murdered anybody. So, and then we're going to have
Not yet. Not yet.
murder at an open mic. So different things like that, kitchen talk, and just doing different things. So we have conversations. As a community, we come together, we play games, we do white elephant, we eat together, and we just build a family. So it's more than just the community. It's
Mm.
turned into a blossoming beautifully into a family. We support each other in everything we do.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know much about the poetry world, what would you like them to know to help them understand it?
To understand the poetry world is that everybody is different. You don't have to write one way. You don't have to do Shakespeare or Maya Angelou. Just come and be yourself and bring your words. So people
Mm,
think, oh, I have to get it right. It has to be perfect. It doesn't. We have workshops where you're workshopping your poem and then you get people feedback, but you do not allow people to change your words. You make sure you stay true to who you are, and that's very important. So just making sure this what you write is who you are, and when you wake up tomorrow you can say, I wrote that, I'm feeling that, and I'm glad I didn't allow anyone to change my voice.
Look, the powerful words. I think I even did a poem at, at,
Yes,
at
you
your
did.
event, and people
You
were so
did.
positive, and I didn't expect to do it. Look, we only have a minute left. I really just appreciate you and support you, but give us your final thoughts. Like, how would you wrap all this up?
Just making sure you support everyone. I had a show too on YouTube. I would invite poets on. You came on, you spoke, and it
Mhm.
was really great. Just being your authentic self. I don't I lead without judgment, and that's very important. We all come from different backgrounds, religions, race, whatever, but we are human at the end of the day. So we remember that we don't share the same exact experiences, and that was make America beautiful, right? And just our words and encouraging and just being true 100% to who you are.
Andrea, I appreciate you. I support all the work you're doing with your community, and I'll definitely come out again next time I'm in LA.
Thank you. You got to get some food and make sure you follow me at miss.ms.drea _
Art forms like poetry have lasted for centuries. Technology may change, but humanity remains the same. We'll see you next time on the Spotlight.